DonInLondon, hello, and it's May 15th, 2009. My video's all about recovery from addiction to either substance or behaviour, or maybe addiction to attitudes and behaviour. Because we hold on to attitudes and behaviour as if it's grim death sometimes, because we hold to principles. And sometimes our principles can be quite questionable. And I realised in my addictive days, or my addiction days, still can be with other behaviour besides the substance I got hooked on, which was along the way to keep on going on whatever path we choose. And you know what gave me the opportunity to choose which path I was on? In my case, recovery from addiction, my substance, as I say, alcohol, and my behaviour, trying to be perfect and never so, workaholic, relationshipaholic, all those olics. And it's Alcoholics Anonymous. And it's a fellowship which is rooted in spiritual, emotional and physical well-being for people who want to stay away from drink or stop drinking and stay stopped. But it's only for a day, and the gift is every single day we get another opportunity to see how life can be loved, to love people and have something useful to do. So where am I in all of this today? How do I feel? I was sort of awake very early. If I don't take a rest part of the way through the day, I get very overtired, and that's partly due to the type 1 diabetes. In the last few days I've not been able to do that. I've had to be places and see people. But sometimes it's a gift that I'm very tired today. So it's a knock-on effect. If I don't look after myself on a daily basis, then things accumulate and exhaustion comes in. So that can lead to all sorts of problems on a physical, emotional level. But I'm aware of it today. So Alcoholics Anonymous, it helps me on a daily basis. And we remain unique, authentic people when we go to the fellowship. We are unique and authentic, as in life, everyone is. And the fellowship does one thing, helps to keep us sober, and around that we remain unique, authentic people on our journey in life. And we try to keep it in the day. So the AA preamble I hear most days when I go to a meeting, and Wednesday I did 3 because I was really not sure what was going on in my mind. Thursday I got to 1 meeting, and that was in the evening. And Friday today, maybe 2. We'll see how we go. But I've got to watch out and look after myself. So on a daily basis I ask myself, how am I feeling, why, what can I do? How am I spiritually? And that's about being in the moment for me, realising where the truth is, trying not to deny anything and trying not to filter out anything to do with the truth. So feelings, spiritual, in the moment, and the physical component, just doing the best I can. And I contend with recovery issues like type 1 diabetes, not from lifestyle, I hasten to add, and also clinical depression, which has been a feature of my life since I was born. Now I've talked to my mother about it. It's very obvious that I wasn't quite in the same place as everybody else, a very fearful person, and trying to put on a brave face, do the best I can, and having a very brittle ego and no self-esteem and no confidence and little faith or little courage. So with those handicaps, it's no wonder I tried to do my best and please people and try to be whatever you wanted me to be, rather than actually finding out who I am. So the last few years, a bit of understanding about who I may be and am on a daily basis, and every day changes. So fellowship for me is really important, and when I go to these meetings this preamble is shared, and it goes like this. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution, does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. And whether I'm 1 day into the fellowship programme, and there were people 1 day in last night where I was, or 22 years sober, which is not me. I'm coming up for an anniversary very shortly, and I'll tell you what it is when I get there, because I'm still in 1 day. And the gift, if you like, of being in the here and now means I have a fighting chance, well, not even a fighting chance, an opportunity to make good choices based on what I know and what I can do. So it's about finding the relationship with the world and other people and my understanding of truth. And if I try to get to the truth on my own, it might be very difficult because it's one outlook. So these days I test my outlook by sharing with others who I trust, and they can be people in fellowship, people in my family, people in the community, and professionals too. And I had the gift offered me yesterday of a 1-week course on understanding type 1 diabetes. Now, I was first diagnosed some years back, and it was a bit of a shock. It was either diabetes or cancer, and I know one can masquerade as the other, as my sister's partner found out. He died of bowel cancer, and it was manifesting as type 2 diabetes. So it's better always, if we're not quite sure, to get checked out, especially if we feel thirsty and we're losing weight and think, wow, what a gift, I'm losing weight, and I seem to be eating more. And that was me, very, very uncertain, but I was aware quite early on that there was something seriously wrong, and I didn't know what to do about it. And my GP at the time said it was all in my head, because I'm a recovering addict. So all these manifestations of symptoms, she thought at the time, were me worrying and wondering what to do, and was I trying to get some sort of medication to take the edge off, when that was far from the truth. The edge was being taken off me because I was suffering from malnutrition. And you know, when we've gone through homeless and fear life, and then get somewhere, a roof over our head, be it a very basic bed and breakfast with mice and rats and people who are using drugs and alcohol, we're grateful to have a roof over our heads and start to make a journey back into recovery. And I don't forget those times. So, mea culpa too. I didn't know I had type 1 diabetes, and I didn't know I was really suffering from malnutrition. I was just very thirsty and getting thin. And I felt it. And the time, some years back, in May, I thought it was my last May and my last spring. So we know intuitively in our heads something is going on, but we don't necessarily know what it is until we share, tell the truth, and get on and make choices based on what we really, really are facing. So the more I hid away, the worse it got. The more my doctor said it was all in my head, the more I hid away. So we learn and we learn and we learn. Be open, be out there, be honest and willing to face what it is, whatever's going on. And you know, it's all about truth in May. There's 12 steps of action in the action program. Step 5 is all about sharing our fearless moral inventory with other people, or rather one sponsor, and this higher power, good conscience or God. You know, if God is truth, God is love, God works through people, then we're onto a winner, because we can be open, honest and willing. And when we share our deep unhappiness about maybe things we've done in the past, our fearless moral inventory, it is about fearing less as we go along. And in the Daily Reflections, this book, which is a 12-month, 1 page a day, it's a very short reading actually for May 15. And it doesn't matter whether you have a concept of God as a man with a white beard floating around on a cloud, or some understanding that it is the absolute consciousness of human beings who provide themselves with a good conscience in many ways, or wherever it came from, nature and providence, doesn't matter. It says here, know God and know peace, and that's knowledge of God, knowledge of peace for me. It is plain that a life which includes deep resentment leads only to futility and unhappiness, but with the alcoholic, whose hope is the maintenance and growth of a spiritual experience, this business of resentment is infinitely grave. And that comes from AA's big book, page 66. And then it says, to know God is to know peace. Know God, know peace. And, you know, whatever the higher power is for a person, it's absolutely essential that we can communicate what is going on inside us to those who can help us. And more often than not, it's another recovering fellow in the fellowship for me. There are so many ways to be sober. I found AA keeps me on track, one day at a time, trying to be open, honest and willing, trying to do a bit of service, be in the fellowship with unity and recovery, and knowing that it's only for a day. So the serenity prayer, to good conscience or to God, granting me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. It's simply just one day, and then we can start over, another and another, just gently.